The Indianization of a lot of history is definitely my dad's aversion. He does not like them. And my dad actually has the energy of like kind of liking the British and liking, and I don't know where it comes from.
There's definitely that strain too. That comes from like the overly like hyper arrogant, hyper intelligent Indian uncles who are like, these other Indians don't know shit.
Contrarians, dude. Yeah. Contrarian.
Like, you guys don't know how to conduct yourselves.
They saw one too many like Indian legless guys on carts or something.
Yeah.
These guys, we're not the guys.
This guy needs to get it together.
Yeah, come on, man. Get some legs, huh? And so my dad, again, the smartest guy that I know, but his politics on India and the past of India is so warped, and I can never talk to him about it because I wasn't born there. So he'll just play that. You don't know what the fuck. You're stupid. And so I never had a conversation about it. But he just calcified, and he doesn't hang out with any other Indians, so he's not going to ever grow from that idea. Yeah. And I think that's kind of rigid. I don't know how rigid your dad is on these kind of ideals.
Well, I mean, I think. Obviously, in our culture, you could maybe start to have a conversation, but once the older person gets obstinate, you're like, okay.
Yeah, you have to let it go.
Because my dad, at this age, I don't think my dad can still hit me. I haven't tried anytime soon. But instead, he learned, instead of hitting me, he could be like, okay, I'll be dead soon. And he would think
you hit you emotionally.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's a word. That's a nice little emotional
much worse. Much
worse. To the heart. Yeah, I mean, do y'all actually talk politics? Like, do y'all have...
So to be honest, the relationship was such that my dad would tell me things about politics, and then after I went to college, now he just lets me tell him things about politics. And then he'll mention, one time Indira Gandhi's motorcade was there, and I was,
He'll give you cute details and stuff.
Yeah.
Fun stories as you rocks in the chair, right? Yeah. I gave her one laddu. She ate laddu. That kind of shit. Okay, that's very cute. My dad has a Mother Teresa story. He worked with Mother Teresa.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
My dad does too.
My
dad was a doctor in India, and he used to also. He has Mother Teresa story. He also has like Naxal stories. He'll be then the communists wanted to go on strike, and then actually I should not. I will not impersonate my dad. That would actually be too much. But
I told Pranav this a lot. My dad went to Russia to
like Lamamba University, I think.
University, and he became like a communist. He's like, the KGB always was helpful. Always gave directions when you needed them. Like, Dad, this is kind of crazy that you're saying this. But he knows perfect Russian and shit. He's like a total scholar in that sense.
Yeah, my dad would do things like he would. Write out when they do sick outs and stuff. He would say, he would always just want to be friendly with them. So he would just always write the striking communist workers sick out days. He in general, I think there's a certain strain that combines being somewhat Europhile but also being a strong nationalist. And I think Nehru had some of that, which is he was obsessed with European thought. He was trained in the UK. Sure. He was very much an Anglophile. But then he used all of that to really assert a level of independence from colonial powers. Think about even the takeover of Goa today. We think of as just it's an inevitable thing that was going to happen. No, they would have hung on till 1999 like Hong Kong did.
Right.
Like the British did with Hong Kong.
Sure.
When they invaded, the U.S. condemned threatened actions. Britain condemned.
Right.
Soviet Union supported it. China condemned even because that was the time of the Sino-Soviet split, and India took more of the Soviet side. And it was a military invasion.
Yeah,
it was the invasion of sovereign territory because it was sovereign legally but not morally.
Right.
And that's something that you can't imagine a Indian leader, even the most hard-talking nationalist doing today, because never got it. And even in the initial period of India could have easily become a nation filled with the little Bantustans and we blame the Congress Party a lot for the lack of territorial integrity and the partition, but there was a world in which India has lots of little independent, basically principalities divided on sectarian grounds throughout the country.